Hey guys, how's it going? Coach Tyson from Ox Strength. Today we're going to be doing the review of the Ashok Fitness Combo Rack. मैले अस्ति पोखराको like it's been a few days, and then मैले जबदेखि यसमा ट्रेन गर्न थालेँ, everyone's like, how do you like the Ashok Fitness equipment? Equipment कस्तो लाग्यो? How is it compared to your setup back home? Is it actually comp standard? What do you like about it? What do you don't like about it? So I obviously have my thoughts because I'm a powerlifting athlete, and then I've been competing in the sport for a long time. And then in my years of competing, I have obviously used most of the equipment that is world class in the competitions that I've done, and also when I'm traveling and all of those things. And back home at my gym, I also have some of the good equipment, and then I've dealt around with really poor equipment and everything. So I'm just going to give my two thoughts on this matter as well, and then hopefully it will help you get your answer first and foremost. And then if you haven't bought the rack yet, then you can also obviously refer to this video and then make your purchasing decision. So for me, let's talk about like the few things that are really good about the rack. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about a few things that really don't go well with the rack, and then some of the things after that will be mostly around what I feel about it. It's neither good nor bad, but you can make a decision, because some of the things, like even in the Eleiko rack, which is the world's best rack obviously, are some things that I wouldn't like as a lifter, but then the same thing could be really beneficial for somebody else. So there's always going to be the thing as well. I'll try to be as non-biased as possible. I don't want to defame anybody. I don't want to make it so that everyone buys this rack. I just want to be as neutral as possible. And Ashok Fitness, if you are watching the video, obviously you are, it's not any hate or trying to praise or anything. It's just my unbiased review of what I think about the rack, and hopefully for your future products you can also use some of the things that I have talked about. Okay, well, I'll just carry the camera because this feels super awkward to hold from this area, and then really talk about it. Okay, first and foremost, what is really good about this rack? I'll talk about those things first. Okay, first and foremost, it's a comp spec rack, which is really well built for the powerlifts. Obviously, combo rack ko main reason bhaneko nai hamro we need to have the adjustable handles, which it has, and then this one is pretty smooth. I used it a couple of times. It's got really smooth handles, and the movements quite intuitive and comfortable to use, like just like any other rack, which makes it great for obviously competition use, but also training if you train with people of different height. So that's the most important thing. Second is that you can obviously put the bench press in here and then do the bench press, and then this has got the J hooks for both squat and bench press. So that's really good. So first thing, what I really like about this is the availability of this rack, that you can find it all over Nepal. They're supplying it to, like, you know, Pokharamai chaile. When I was in Butwal, Anmol bhaiko gym ma tyaha Neuro pani thyo, and then I've seen other clients and friends in Barbell Nepal, and you know, just stories in general, that it's really available. Because just when I started powerlifting, like I got the first combo rack in Gymkhana in Nepal, probably back in 2018, I would like to say. त्यो बेला available थिएन rackहरु, so availability is there, and it does a really good job at giving the comp specs to people, because you know, it's really miserable squatting in the regular gym equipment, like the big long ass J hooks huncha, you can't really fit inside the squat rack. I have a problem a bit with this rack as well, in not fitting inside the squat rack, but then like your gym ko power rack setting, it's really difficult to even fit inside the rack. So those are really two good things that I want to talk about the rack. And then for the most part, that's all we ever need in a combo rack. Now to nitpick and then dive into more details, what are the other things that I really like about this rack? So the UHMW plastic rollers are really good and of high quality. They seem to be holding up really nicely. Even the insert is good, because with the Indian racks that I've used, the insert ma chai there's a wooden lining from inside. So if you put it from one side, it's gonna definitely come out on the other. But if the pipe is hollow, then it's gonna get stuck and you're gonna be like, ah, especially when it's like super heavy weight or it's gonna be there. Also, for product available in Nepal, it's got really good attention to detail. Like your safety squat rack, there's this plastic which is removable apparently, is there for the safety of the barbell. The handles got some really nice grip to it, and then overall it's a really well built rack. So when I used this rack for the first time in Butwal, I think it was like a few years back, like 2022 23 तिर हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ यो individually move हुने खालके post थियो, which is good for a combo rack because it needs to move, but then that made the rack extremely flimsy. तर अहिले यो rack को केसमा चाहिँ, since this is directly attached to the base of the rack, that it's not flimsy and it doesn't move, and there is kind of a secure feeling when it comes to the rack. Okay, beyond that, a few things that I didn't enjoy or didn't like about this rack is that first, the rollers, they have 0 to no resistance, meaning like every time I was trying to set the bar up, it's like moving here and there, because it's like even with like one finger I can really move the rack. So this needs to have some level of tolerance, so that under extremely heavy load, when I'm trying to get really locked in, zoned in and focused, it's not like moving. So maybe this tolerance is something that's easily fixable with just some screws. That's number one. Second is that what I didn't again enjoy, if I can take this out and then show it to you, this has a lot of space within the J-hook for the bar to move, which is not necessary, because all we need is literally this much space. And I think we can literally fit 2 barbells if we didn't have the collars here. So it's quite a big space. In most of the racks that I've used that are good, this is eliminated. Maybe like just a little bit of a space is there. I don't know, because your talako part is still quite small, Mathiko part is sticking out quite a bit, making the J-hook really big. Now it's more likely that you catch the bar, but then what happens is that when you're bench pressing, you're gonna hit on the lower because it's so much further away from the rack. So that is one of the issues that I faced. And also with the squat, because this is so big, when I squat and then unrack the weight, I'm sometimes chipping into the rack because this is so thick. If it was smaller, then as I step back, then maybe I would have had a slightly more range for the bar to come out. Okay, I think I forgot to give a small little caveat that there are always going to be different types of racks. One is like the Eleiko one, or something like an ER equipment rack, which is very minimalist. They look very simple. It doesn't even look expensive. It's very, like, it's not super strong, but it's still a good combo. And then some of the racks are more like Hansu, Ghost kind of racks, which is really big and thick. And I've used those racks, the Rogue racks. I've used all of those racks. Those are really heavy. That doesn't mean it's better. Just because it's sturdy does not make it's better, and just because it's flimsy does not mean it's good. I personally like the feedback when I'm putting the rack, or like when I'm unracking from a combo rack, that the bar is like the rack is lifting up like that slightly, or when I'm putting it opposed to when I hit the rack sends me back. I don't really like those kind of racks. I like the lighter racks, especially for a combo rack in general. So those were the two things that I had a little bit of a problem with. Second, my personal problem is I'm a relatively bigger guy. So I am almost 6 feet tall. Nepali height, 6 feet. And then I weigh 112 to 115 kgs depending on what season it is. And like I'm pretty big in general, but not so big that like I'm a not so big for a powerlifter. Now if I was a football player, I would be massive, I know. But if I was a powerlifter, I'm like big, but like we see lots of big powerlifters. What my problem was is that when I put my hands just outside the rings, which is where I normally put, and then when I'm stiffer, even wider, my hands are not fitting inside the rack, which is a problem because see, my hands would get chipped if I use my regular stance to, to put the bar in. So that was a small little problem that I faced. Now, some power racks also have the uprights that would go inside. This doesn't have it, which is completely fine. In our parts of the world, we don't have. I'm probably the biggest power lifter. Maybe there are a few guys who are around my weight, but then not so many that are much bigger, much taller. So we're fine for now. But then eventually, if we could see a rack that folds in, probably gonna be good. That's because the upright is not as wide. This is supposed to be 48 inches from the outside. This is probably what I haven't measured it. I don't want to do all those things, but because I've used so many racks, I've never run into the issue of my hands touching. So I would assume this is a bit narrow. Maybe what happened is that because we have a smaller upright here, I know your patula santa, we could go a bit wider. Now, if we maybe they measured it from the inside for regular squat rack usages. So त्यो भयो भने चाहिँ squat rack को beamहरु 3 inch by 3 inch हुन्छ mostly. त्यो भयो भने चाहिँ maybe it would be fair enough. But since this is probably what 1.5 inch, 1.5 by 1.5, we could go even 1 inch further and then have the bar, because in general, like when I use the Eleiko bar, there's only like little space outside the uprights. So they probably measured from the inside and then had the measurement a bit skewed off. But if this rack was wide but with the thicker J hooks, then again this would hit the upright. Now it's just a problem for me, but for most people, no. Okay, that was the issue. And one more issue, I think I have lots of issues. I think one other issue is that this part is really well built. Like the finishing is really nice. The steel is perfect. Even this has detail, you know, like halka the Eleiko combo rack or just the detail that this has knurling on it, which is really nice to hold into and then, like, you know, just get the hang of it. But there seems to be a gap between this post and the upright of this combo rack, which makes the combo rack move slightly. Now there seems to be a mechanism. Can you see that? There is a small steel structure on this side. It's not holding up. But then, like, sometimes if it gets locked a certain way, if it gets locked a certain way, it does not move. But then it's really hard to tell how, if, when, whatever. So that could be a problem, especially like when you're setting up the bench. So bench यसरी माथि देख्छ नि त बेन्चबाट गर्दाखेरि, and then one is on the back, one is on the front. Let me show. So let's say this is in the back and then this comes to the front. Then when we unrack the barbell, like it's gonna be slightly crooked, but that's just for me what I felt about the rack. Okay, okay, let's talk about the bench for this rack. Okay, let me just set this up here and then talk about the bench, which I have good things to say about it and then some not so good things to say about it. Okay, let me put this on the bench first. Okay, first and foremost, this is, I think, the favorite part about the rack is that it's so easy and convenient to put on, because the Indian racks that I have at home, they're super difficult. This is super lightweight because it doesn't really need to be heavy, but it's super easy to put it on, super light and easy to set up. Okay, let's talk about the bench now. First and foremost, it's a solid bench. Like once it's locked in, I didn't feel any issue with the bench. Like there is no movement, almost no movement. Even if I'm trying, there is no movement. And then if you lock it down, which is not necessary because it's already so stable that it's right in the center and then locked in. One of the benefits of a combo rack is that it's super stable and wide. I think just based off my feel, I feel like the width is good. Should be about 12, should be 12 inches. It is 12 inches. The height should be 17 inches. I think it's 17 inches. The bench itself is nice. Like this is the type of bench that I enjoy benching in, on the slightly on the more firm side. So bench पनि दुईटा टाइपको हुन्छ, hard, super hard, like L को PUR is very very hard, like so hard it's almost like भित्ता जस्तो कडा हुन्छ त्यो. But then good thing about harder benches is that you get really good traction in those benches, and then the softer it gets, you can dig in more, which is safer or more comfortable for the shoulders, more comfortable in general. But when it's softer, it becomes less durable, and then when it's harder, it's super durable. So commercial setting ma hundakheri chai, if the bench is harder and doesn't have that much grip, it would last a longer time. So there's always going to be a balance for that. Even the Elico bench that I have in my gym back home, it's really really soft and it has a lot of grip. So what that is that it's not super durable, and it probably only lasts 6 to 8 months for one lifter, which is not good, but it's so comfortable, feels like a sofa I could sleep on. So I think this has a good balance of grip and firmness and everything. So it feels like it will definitely last a long time. One thing which is really unique about this bench that I saw was that this thing over here is an extra grip on top of the already good bench it is. So if I can press into this, I can show how stiff it is. Now I'll try to find videos of me doing the same thing with the PUR bench, and then also the Sky bench, which is the soft one. This is like the right amount of stiffness and grip, but then this adds a layer of grip. I'm not sure if this is mostly just for grip or for durability, because this probably would fold if you can like constantly set the arch up really hard. But this is not folding. This is almost like a knurling kind of a shape to this, and then this is really rough. Like I bench 5 times a week, and then like yesterday was my 3rd day, today is my 4th day, and then like the back of my head is like because of the knurling pattern that this bench has. If you were somebody benching 5 times, wouldn't be comfortable, especially with heavier weights. But if you're benching like 2-3 times a week, 4 times, maybe 4 is fine. But for me, one like lighter days, ma towel अथवा के राखेरै गर्छु होला मैले चाहिँ. But if it was just this padding, I would really dig the bench. So I think that was the bench one. Okay, safeties. I think some people heard like in my DM wrote like the safety is too short for this bench, which is true, but which is also not true because this is not to save you from squatting. It is only for the bench press. Like when you're squatting in a combo rack made for competition, आजकल चाहिँ hybrid वाला हुन्छ, like squat rack plus kind of like बिचको safety and squat rack. The ठुल्ठुलो beam. I think the Indians have really good rack. The Sehat भन्ने brand को छ, really good brand of combos. But this is not for the squat. And for bench, this should be plenty, especially for Nepalese population. But if you're gonna squat in this, yeah, it's gonna be short. Like एक step लिँदाखेरि, because look at this बाट यहाँ यति मात्रै space, and what is the likelihood that you're gonna land in this much space? So yeah, something to consider if you're thinking this is for squat. It's not for squat. If you squat in these, not good. What else do I have about the rack? Okay. I think that's about it for the rack. Finally, let's talk about the barbells and the plates from Ashok Fitness. First and foremost, the plates, my God, they're good. They're really, really good plates. It's like really nice, almost like a powder coat finish. I think it's powder coat. It's definitely not, what do you say, the esto wala paint cha haina, enamel wala paint cha haina. It's really nice. It feels really, really premium. And then the small fraction plates are also really nice. I think these are chrome plated plates, yeah, not stainless but chrome. And then these are obviously iron cast with powder coating. I haven't seen the tolerance of the weights yet, but If it's off, I can mostly tell. I don't think they're off. I think they're spot on with the weight as well. I don't see the calibrated pins like the battery just to rakhe huncha. I don't see that. But in most Chinese, Indian plates, there isn't that anyways. But they should be quite accurate. But I like the way they look. They're consistent in the diameter of the plates. Like all of the big plates are the same diameter. And these ones are a bit big, but it doesn't matter really, right? But then like the diameter is really good. The barbell, like, you know, if you're a power lifter, I think the most important piece of equipment at the gym is gonna be the barbell. Like non-negotiable, most important, the one you touch every single day. Every lift that you do is done with the barbell. To be fair, these are really good barbells. Like they are stiff, they are comp standard. They also have the thin collars. The tolerance is what I like more, like on the stiffer side. Like it's opposite थियो यो घुम्ने चाहिँ यसमा चाहिँ कम्ती tolerance भयो, यसमा चाहिँ धेरै tolerance छ. But me personally, I enjoy these tolerance bars. But if you look at the Eleiko bar or the Rogue bar, it's tolerance is slightly looser than this. But for me personally, I prefer the harder tolerance barbells. And this is the competition barbell that they have. So I don't know what makes it competition, but I believe it's the harder tolerance that they have and also the aggressive knurl that they have. So the knurling here is, it is a volcano knurl, but I think because of the coating, it's kind of like a mountain rocky knurl. I can see the volcano holes, but when I grip it, like it doesn't feel like a volcano. In a sense that it is really sharp. Volcano knurls, they hurt less. I think the patterning is decent. It's not like the Eleiko one, which is very fine. It's a bit further away, the knurl, but it's still nice knurling, a lot of grip. And I believe this is not the steel version, this is the chrome version of the barbell. Now I can't tell with my bare eyes, but with my experience, like core chrome barbell, they feel a bit brittle. Like they're stiff, equally stiff as steel barbell, but then when they're chrome, it's like it feels a bit brittle. It's not gonna break, obviously, but then like if you were to describe a feeling between a steel barbell, a Swedish steel one, a different one, but if just a regular steel, stainless steel barbell and a chrome barbell, the difference is like the steel one feels like it's bending and it's coming back, it's bending and it's coming back, but then like the chrome one's like it's the khalke feeling. But obviously this is not gonna break, and obviously chrome bars are less durable in general, but these are stiff. They're very stiff. I don't like it. I don't like stiff bars. Not that they're bad, but I don't like it. Some people enjoy the stiff bars. I don't like stiff bars. I wish the bars were slightly more flexible, that we can get the whip, almost like a weightlifting. But usually powerlifting gardakeri, it's like people are squatting into the 400s and pulling into the 400s. So stiffer ne banaira huncha barharu. So that's fine. Nothing against the stiffness. But one thing I noticed with the plate, the only flaw is that these are both Ashok Fitness branded barbells, right? The collar seems to be a bit small in comparison to how the plates are. Let me just put the plate on and then show it for you guys. I'm not sure about the 10 kg plate. Yeah, I think so, yeah. So when manufacturers make plate and barbells, they make it compatible for their equipment. Like when I use the challenge bar and the challenge plate, they're like so snug fit. When I use the Eleiko bar in an Eleiko plate, they're super snug fit. But they have a tolerance, like but when we use an Ashok bar with an Ashok plate, there's a lot of gap between this, see? So it's a big difference, like, and when you feel the deadlift, it feels like there's a lot of slack. So that's the only thing that I noticed about the barbell. Overall, very good bar. Very good rack, except a few things that are there, and this is obviously my opinion. In general, again, let me reiterate, no racks are perfect. It's gonna be different for everybody. Some people are gonna like some kind of a bar, some people are gonna like some kind of a plate, and that's just the fact of the matter. But at the end of the day, there is a good barbell that is available in Nepal, and I'm not sure about the pricing. I haven't bought one yet, but if it's competitive and it's cheaper than the Indian racks that we have at Ox, it's a really good steal, especially for the population of lifters that we're dealing with here. But if you were to make the positive changes, would be to not have so much space between the collar and the uprights. Second, the J-hook could be a bit smaller, and maybe in the future iterations the rack could go in as well. I really want to measure this rack. Let me ask if she has measuring tape. Okay, moment of truth. I don't want to be wrong. Let me get on this one. Outsides. 45. Yeah, this is definitely small. It's only 45 inches. It's only 45 inches, so 3 inches nahi shy cha ke of what it needs to be. What about the height? Should be 17 inches. I said it would be 17. Oh no. Let me see. I thought it is 17. Okay, 17. Slightly shy. So it's like 16.5-ish. So 0.5 चाहिँ मैले भन्नु नसक्ने रहेछ ननापिकन. And then the width should be 12. I said it would be 12. Okay, it's perfectly 12. So yeah, so you could see that I can at least tell the difference in how I feel without even using the rack, which is experience talking. I don't doubt the plates as well. I think the plates are also a good diameter. Check gare bela gardihalu. 17.7 हुनुपर्छ है. I'm good with the numbers, guys. Perfect, bang on, bang on, bang on. Perfect. So yeah, there you have it. The review, unbiased review of the rack. If you want to purchase the rack, go ahead and purchase it. If you want a better rack, there are better racks in the market. Not in the market, this is the only one we have, but there are better racks. Thank you for watching the review. Hopefully it doesn't offend anybody. It's for the better, for the sport. And then I will see you guys in the next one. For now, I need to get on with my training. All right, see you in the next one.